Okay, besties, this is what your life has probably looked like so far when it comes to you trying to rebrand your life or become a better version of yourself. You're stuck in the exact same cycles and you always find yourself back at square one, and it's frustrating and it's exhausting, and that's why I'm here for you. And this is what your life is gonna look like after today's video, because I'm gonna help you break the cycle. I'm gonna help you break that toxic cycle you're in right now where you cannot seem to change your life no matter how hard you try, because you just feel lost. Where to start? How do I gauge where I'm at? How do I even know I'm progressing? It's like the feeling of chasing your own tail, but you don't even have a tail, so you're just here confused. So whether you're watching this video right after a breakup or with your morning coffee, or it's 2 a.m. and you have the sudden rush of motivation to get your life together, this video is for you. Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. Hi, if you're new here, my name is Maryam, and on my channel we talk about all things girlhood, that's self-love, fashion, lifestyle, becoming the best version of yourself. If you aren't subscribed already, now would be the perfect time to subscribe. Step 1 to rebranding your life is to audit where you're at right now. Because like I always say, if you don't define what a productive day, what a rebrand looks like for you, how will you know when you're there? You will constantly feel like you're chasing your own tail, and it's not fun. So let's stop working against ourselves and let's start highlighting and defining where we're at now and where we want to be and how we can bridge the gap. That can look like auditing your
friend group, work life, fitness wise, your mental health, your own personal goals, your school, university, hobbies.
I mean, the point I'm trying to make is that it's overwhelming to audit every single aspect of your life, and doing that on its own can intimidate you into even getting to the rebranding process. So I've actually brainstormed a perfect way to help you rebrand your life, and that's by using our sensory audit. Because rebranding your life is rebranding the experience you're having of your life. And how do we experience life? It's through our key senses. Let's start with my favorite sensory point, which is feeling, how we're feeling in our bodies. And let's double down on that little anxious feeling we always have in the back of our minds. It could be triggered by something like how we're feeling about ourselves in terms of our physical appearance. It could be something like our money situation. Maybe you're not budgeting enough, and so that's causing us a lot of anxiety. I mean, one thing I've learned is that I used to always feel anxious when it came to money. That's because I never really had a clear budgeting template to follow. And no, I'm not about to sell you guys something. I don't know why I felt like I was going to give an ad, but I'm not. The point I'm trying to make is that try and figure out what it is that's causing you a lot of anxiety. If it's to do with your lack of financial organization, let's tackle that first. For example, if you don't know how to budget properly, I've learned that the 50-30-20 rule is the perfect one to follow. It's basically 50% of whatever you make goes to your bills, 30% goes to leisurely stuff you do, or like, you know, variable expenses that just come up in the month, and 20% always goes to your savings account. And now when we have a plan when it comes to money, one of the biggest elements in all of our lives, we can't deny it, it really is one of the biggest elements. We feel better because we know we're taking care of a very significant element of our lives, and that is one of the softest and purest form of self-love, because it's not for you right now, it's for the future you. One book that I will recommend to that you should read, that is actually really easy to read when it comes to money, is by Vivian Tu. This book is written by a woman, and it's written in a very easy to understand way. And the second element that might be making us feel anxious is our fitness levels, how well we take care of our sleep, our meals, our movement, our mental health. Recently I did make a video about how to actually enter your wellness girl era, so I would highly recommend watching that video when it comes to helping you alleviate your anxieties when it comes to your physical health. I'll link it down below for you guys. The second sensory audit we need to do is our sight, and this is one of my favorite ones as well, and it's to do with how organized or how cluttered your space feels. Now, it doesn't have to be super color coordinated, really articulate with every single thing you place and where you place it. I mean, if that's what you want to do, then go ahead, but it makes such a big difference to how you're feeling when your space is clean, when your space is organized, and you're literally going to feel like a whole new person when you change your space, when you reorganize furniture. It's going to make you feel like a whole new person. You're rebranding your space, and that just adds to your whole rebrand as a person. And the third one is sound. It makes such a big difference. The content you're consuming, the videos you watch, the music you listen to, the types of podcasts you're listening to, all of these things, all of the sounds you're taking in makes such a big difference. You would be surprised how your body would react, how you would respond to more positive content. It's also the thoughts you're having in your head. What kind of noises are you creating in your mind? Is it a nice place to be in? Would you tolerate talk to a younger version of yourself with the same thoughts you're having about yourself now, would you use that language? Would you use those words to someone you love? You wouldn't. So start giving yourself a whole new sensory experience. Because when you only say things like, for example, I'm just a lazy person, or I've always been that way, I always just give up at some point. If that's what you're hearing and that's what your brain is telling you about yourself, your brain will only allow you to function within the limitations that you have set. Those limitations do not need to exist, but you've created them and now you can only function within them. You're limiting your own self when you place these limiting beliefs in your mind, when you hear these limiting beliefs, when you hear it in your environment, and when you take it in, when you say it to yourself, when it's so unnecessary. You don't need that extra layer of negativity. The world itself already has enough ammunition to make us feel that way. You don't need to do that to yourself. Our next sensory element is touch, and this is about how your body feels when you walk on grass, how you feel when you're out in nature and you're not even listening to music, you're just listening to the birds, to the sound of the water, or if you're at the beach, the sound of the wave. You're just present and you're feeling and you're taking in every single thing. You're training your nervous system that you're okay. You're pausing, you're slow with your movements, you're not rushing yourself. Even like in the morning when you wake up, like you're just rushing, you're brushing your teeth, you're making your coffee, you're rushing, and that's making your body anxious. You're constantly clenching your jaw. Even right now, unclench your jaw and drop your tongue. And relax your shoulders. Even now while watching this video, you probably were unconsciously just clenching your jaw. So it's about being mindful of our bodies, and that can only happen when we slow down. When we take time for ourselves, that's when we can actually be one with our bodies and understand where we're at. And the last one is taste and smell. I want to combine these two. The way your environment smells, when you have incense in your room, it makes such a big difference to how you're feeling. And I don't always have that because I've got 2 cats, so they don't really appreciate the smells. Honestly, a bonus tip for the rebrand, for your life's rebrand, is to buy yourself a whole new perfume that also could be very different to the ones you're using now, to symbolize to yourself that you're in a new era of your life. You're rebranding who you are. You're at a new level and you're getting better. Buying a new scent for your new era of your life can be honestly a really fun and a really romanticized activity. And also taste. So foods that actually nourish your body is super important. I mean, obviously, yes, we love our treats. However, like I mentioned in my previous video about getting into your wellness girl era, we spoke about the 80-20 rule. So if you have 21 meals in a week, 4 of them would be 20%. So that would be meals that, you know, you sneak into a sweet treat or you have a bit of a cheat meal. So it's about having balance and it's about knowing your body and treating your body with love and care. That doesn't always translate to treat yourself all day 24/7. Love and care translates to tough love as well. It's making the decisions you don't necessarily want to make, but you know is going to be good for you. So by now, it should be a lot easier for you to audit where you're at right now, because you can use your 5 senses and you can use how you're feeling, where you're at now, what's working and what's not working, how to move forward. And now when it comes to rebranding your life, it's really important to pick your daily wins. This is where it's really important to define and have a system to know what an average day would look like, what a low day would look like, or what a good day or what an excellent day would look like. So we have our 5 senses audit. So maybe an average day would look like 3 to 4 wins. A low day would look like 1 to 2, and an excellent day would look like 5. It's basically hitting all sensory elements every single day, and that's how you know, and that's how you can track how your rebrand is going. Because if all you do is create a list of what's working and what's not working, and you don't really follow through it, and you don't really have a plan, a way how you're strategizing what you've audited, it just defeats the whole purpose. Here's a quick reminder. This is actually what consistency looks like, and this is what we think it looks like, so now you know. This method is so important because it actually helps you track progress without falling into the trap of chasing perfection, because perfected effort simply does not exist. So you might as well try and see what happens. And if you still don't feel super clear on how to define your days, you know, what would be a good day or what would not be such a good day, maybe have a list of non-negotiables so you can easily audit where you're at. So you can actually know if you're having a productive day or you're not. You're working with yourself instead of against yourself. And bestie, over time, you literally transform into a new person, because you're literally reconstructing a whole new aura, a whole new vibe by digging deep and understanding your 5 sensory elements. That's how you literally transform into a new person, and you start to attract new people, better people, new opportunities that you wouldn't have had you been left in the old version of yourself. And here's a tip to track your progress. You could have a brag book on your phone. It could be a photo album you create and you put all the things that you're doing, all the new things you're working on, maybe a new workout class you went to, you take take a picture and you put it in your brag book, or maybe you started journaling, you take a picture, you put it in your brag book, and whenever you're having an off day, you can go back to your brag book and look at all the things you're working on and how far you've come. I mentioned this before, but when I was doing my 75 medium challenge, I had 75 post-it notes on my wall, and coming back home every day after my workout and taking one off was just so motivating. So maybe something like that can help you too. Let's come back to our environment element, because we briefly spoke about it earlier in the video, but I want to talk more about it now. Your environment matters so much. That is the people you're around, your actual physical space. All of these things really compound and really impact how you're feeling. And when you upgrade the following, it's a new life. It's literally a rebranded life. Also, when it comes to upgrading your environment, I wanted to talk to you guys about how it's okay to sometimes have some time, take some time to yourself and work on yourself. And that might mean that you're not going to be as available to your friends. But I wouldn't recommend to ghost everyone, because I do have a video coming out later on or soon about ghosting people. I don't recommend ghosting your friends, your family, and not telling them anything. I highly recommend letting them know that you're working on yourself and you might be not as responsive for the next couple of weeks. And that's fine. I mean, people should understand that in your life. It's a common, basic human need to sometimes just work on yourself and give yourself that love and attention you so kindly give to others. So when it comes to upgrading your environment, I would recommend not to ghost people and, become fully isolated, because human connection is such an important element to have a fulfilling life. And I feel like when it comes to the self-help community, we tend to normalize, cutting off everyone and just being all by yourself. And while sometimes it is necessary to do, I don't think it's the only way to become a better version of yourself or to rebrand your life. Yes, it is the reality in many cases that the people in your life now won't like or appreciate the newer version of yourself, because perhaps the older version of you was benefiting them in some way. Perhaps the older version of you had lesser boundaries or less strict boundaries, so they could take advantage of you, whether it was through your time or through your emotions. I mean, you get the gist. The point I'm trying to make is that never let your environment guilt trip you into going back into the old version of yourself. If you've been here for a while, you know that I always talk and emphasize the language you use with yourself. Stop labeling yourself negative labels, because when it comes to rebranding your life, rebrand how you talk about her too. You can't talk bad about someone you're trying to be. It makes no sense. So why not talk to yourself in a kinder way, in a way that has more compassion, in a way that's more loving? You're not gonna lose anything by doing that. I promise you, you're only gonna gain. But you will lose when you talk to yourself in a negative way. And you might think, and your brain might rationalize, oh, I only do this for myself to be better. But girl, that is not the only way to be better. You don't have to berate yourself to become better. Oh, it's always been this way, I've always done, and it's worked. But that's just your brain stuck in a familiar pattern. And one tip I will give you when it comes to talking better about yourself to yourself is try journaling in third person. Try talking about yourself by removing yourself from yourself, and try journaling about the woman you're trying to rebrand your life into. Because it wouldn't make any sense to your brain to talk down, to talk bad about someone you're trying to become. Because why would you want to be someone you're talking bad about? Do you know what I mean? Talk good things about her, talk good things about you, because you're her. You trying to be her is literally you being her, because only she would want to better herself. Recognize how far you've come, recognize your progress and your efforts. I'm proud of you for taking the steps to make yourself better, to better your life, to rebrand your life. And the last point I want to talk about when it comes to rebranding your life is to maintain momentum. And this ties into the whole thing we're talking about, what actual real consistency looks like, because perfected effort does not exist. It's not possible to literally show up as the same person every single day, especially as women. We have a whole different cycle to men, and that can be a video for another time. But the point I'm trying to make is that be kind to yourself, be fair to yourself, maintain momentum, come back, get back up when you fall down, get back up when you have an off day. It's just an off day, it's not an off life. And when you ever feel like you don't know where you're at anymore, and you feel like your rebranding journey is just, not going the way you wanted it to, come back to step one. Come back to step one, which is auditing your 5 senses. Come back to it. Come back to your brag book. Come back to your post-it notes. Come back to the plan. And that's why I always say have a concrete defined plan. Have a concrete way of looking at your progress, because whenever you feel lost, you can easily come back to them. And if you want, you can even easily come back to this video. Save this video, come back to it whenever you feel lost, and then you know how to rebrand your life. And also, I am literally filming this video on the 28th of September. I did not wait till January 1st. I did not wait for a Monday. It's literally a Sunday today. I share all of this to tell you guys that you don't have to wait for the perfect day to rebrand your life. You can literally decide now, whether it's 2 a.m. or 10 a.m. or whatever time it is. You can literally decide now. You don't have to wait for the perfect time. All right, girlies, and that's everything for today's video. I really enjoyed filming today's video, and I hope you guys did too. I love you guys so much, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.
You were gone.